Hi, everyone. Michael Dorfman, the sage of the fifth stage here, reminding you that life does not have to be a decline as you age and that you can actually thrive and not just survive well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. So, I wanted to share with you a short video, which is something I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks. Uh, there was this comedian. His name was Jack Benny. Some of you are older may remember him. He was a very popular vaudeville star. Then he became a radio star, and eventually had his own program on TV. And one thing I remember about Jack is that whenever somebody asked him his age, he always said he was 39. The years passed, and he was always 39. So I was always wondering, I was thinking about it. What was that all about? Why was he saying that he was always 39 years of age? And I remember that time there was a saying that life begins at 40. And what was that all about? And it's because at that time there was considered that people would go through, men and women, the midlife crisis after 40, and nobody wanted to reach 40. So he said he was always 39. And right now, if you look back at that, you don't, life begins at 40. That doesn't mean very much. Now, maybe if somebody was asked, well, when does life begin? When can you really enjoy your life? Maybe people would say in their 60s, because, when people are 60, they retire in their 60s. And then, it's the American dream. You can really enjoy your life. And people, they say, well, now I can do the things I always wanted to do. So maybe life begins somewhere in the 60s. So when you get to the 70s, you won't maybe not say life begins in the 70s, because most people who are in their 70s, the great majority, already have one chronic disease, whether it's, it could be a heart disease or type 2 diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, obesity. So somebody has something in most cases. So you won't say that. But here I'm telling you that for me, I'm sharing my experience that life begins at 80. That really, when you are living in your 80s, you can enjoy your life as much as you did in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm not talking about surviving, because, most doctors or even the media, they don't give you much hope when you reach your 80s. You're over the hill. Maybe somebody will put you in a home to live out the rest of your days, or you'll sit around waiting. But I'm telling you that it's exactly the opposite, that we need to have an understanding and a mindset and really live an experience where you can truly enjoy a fulfilling life in your 80s and beyond. And I'm not talking about only about my experience. I'm talking about the experience of people who are living in the blue zones, the 5 blue zones that were discovered in around 2008 or 9 by Dan Buettner, who wrote the book, where people in different parts of the world are living 10 to 15 years longer than we do in the West. And not only living longer, but living disease free, or most of the chronic diseases that we experience with frequency here in the West, they don't have that experience over there. So I'm talking about a different kind of life, and I'm talking about living a fulfilling life. And I'm going to be doing more videos on this, short videos, because I think people like short videos to watch. So, but all I'm saying right now is that there is an opportunity, and I'm going to be sharing what's helping me thrive during the later years. And that's why I call it thriving during the fifth stage of life, which is from 80 to 100 plus. So stay tuned, and I'll be sharing more with you, and have a great day.